Rose Zary and the Royal Emerald Secret by Darling James Mirame.
Chapter 3 New Friends. Rose stood nervously before the modern exterior of her new school, nestled in the charming Upper West Side neighborhood. The early morning sunlight bathed the building's entrance in a soft glow. She clutched her backpack tightly, her knuckles paling with anxiety. Around her, students flowed through the open doors, their voices blending into a cheerful melody of conversation and laughter. The space was alive with the sounds of greetings and the rustling of lunch boxes. The smell of damp earth from the schoolyard would occasionally give way to the faint aroma of breakfast wafting from the cafeteria. At the entrance, Mrs. Cherry, the principal, welcomed each student one by one, her warm smile and friendly greetings creating an inviting atmosphere. "I'm not ready yet," Rose said nervously as she clutched her backpack strap. Mom looked at her with concern. "Why not, sweetheart? Is something wrong?" Rose hesitated, her face reflecting her anxiety. "I'm just feeling nervous. I don't know anyone in my new class." "I understand how you feel. You'll make new friends in no time." Rose looked up at Mom, her expression still uncertain. "But what if I don't make any friends? What if no one likes me?" Mom smiled confidently, as she gently adjusted Rose's bangs, then softly cupped Rose's cheek with her warm, gentle hand, giving it a delicate pat as she leaned in to offer a reassuring whisper. "Oh, Rose, you have nothing to worry about. You're kind and smart. Anyone would be lucky to have you as a friend." Rose's expression became more hopeful. "You'll be great, Rose. Just be yourself." As Mom's voice faded in the distance, Rose walked through the doors. She looked back at Mom, giving her a small wave. "I wish it were easier for me to make friends," Rose whispered. The emerald in her pocket glowed, emitting a tiny green wave that filled her with a sense of warmth and confidence. Just then, a girl rushing to class accidentally stepped on Rose's foot. Rose let out a soft gasp. The girl paused briefly to say, "I'm sorry. I like your shoes," before disappearing down the school corridor. Rose was greeted by Mrs. Cherry, who led her through a long hallway. On the left, children's artwork displayed the walls, arranged in compositions of squares and rectangles in primary colors, yellow, red, and blue, intersected by thick lines running vertically and horizontally. Rose recognized this style as inspired by the work of Piet Mondrian. On the right, sets of 4 varied drawings of donuts were arranged on colored squares, reminiscent of Andy Warhol's pop art. Further along, children were tracing their bodies on a large sheet of green paper lying on the floor, creating self-portraits with one arm outstretched above their heads, somewhat reminiscent of the Statue of Liberty in the style of Keith Haring's iconic figures. Rose was very familiar with modern art. Her father often took her to galleries, they browsed through many art books together, and they spent hours drawing and painting side by side. "Welcome to our school, dear. We understand that starting at a new place can be a bit overwhelming, but we're here to support you every step of the way," Mrs. Cherry said, offering a warm smile. "It looks like you're admiring the artwork of our students. That's wonderful. Tomorrow is your art class as well. And here we are. This is your classroom," she pointed out, gesturing towards an open doorway. Mrs. Cherry led Rose into the classroom, where the other students were already seated at desks arranged in groups of 4. The first thing Rose noticed was a large star-spangled banner hanging on the back wall. The room was crowded with various instructions, books, and even a tiny aquarium with fish. Ms. Rosengold, her teacher, stood at the front of the room and welcomed warmly as they entered. "Class, this is Rose. She just moved here from Poland. Let's make her feel welcome." The class greeted Rose with a round of applause, and she felt a flutter of vibrancy and nervousness. She looked around and noticed the girl who had stepped on her foot earlier. The girl smiled at her, and Rose decided to sit next to her. "Hi there, I'm Sarah. I just moved here from Tokyo a couple months ago. Nice to meet you. Hajime mashite." Sarah greeted welcomingly. "Hi, Sarah. Hajime mashite." Rose replied, her tone equally warm. "You know, back in Poland, I had a small garden. I absolutely love plants. My favorite is orchid." They are delicate plants. My mom used to grow them in when I was younger. What kind of plants do you like? All kinds. But especially sunflowers and roses. They're so beautiful and vibrant. I used to help my grandmother in her garden, and she taught me so much about them. Did you know that sunflowers follow the sun? Sarah shook her head. No, I didn't. That's so cool. Yeah, and roses, they come in so many colors, and each color have a different meaning. Red for love, yellow for friendship, white for purity. Ms. Rosengold overheard their conversation. Girls, I'm glad you're getting along, but let's focus on the lesson first. We'll have time to chat more during recess. Rose apologized. Sorry. Sarah nodded. Sorry, teacher. That's all right. Now, let's open our books to page 50 and discuss today's topic. That's so cool, Rose. I'd love to learn more about plants from you. Maybe we could start a garden here at school. Sarah whispered excitedly, leaning in closer. That would be wonderful, Rose beamed and whispered. As the teacher began the lesson, Rose and Sarah exchanged pinky promises and quick smiles, already planning their school garden in their heads. The classroom buzzed with the soft rustling of pages turning and the occasional murmur of students discussing the lesson. Rose felt a sense of belonging and excitement for the future.